Witches weren't just caught with broomsticks and cauldrons. Sometimes it took nothing more than a cat, a mole, or having dreams. History is full of ridiculous reasons people got accused, and we're diving right into the strangest ones.
Owning a black cat. Today, owning a black cat basically means nothing. Maybe you just like cats, or your local shelter had a 2-for-1 deal. But in the Middle Ages, instant witch. If your cat crossed someone's path and they stubbed their toe 5 minutes later, boom, you're a witch. Black cats were considered familiars, aka demonic sidekicks. Basically, your adorable house cat was seen as a furry Satan intern.
It's wild how a cat color palette could ruin your whole life. In medieval Europe, a black cat wasn't a pet, it was basically a furry subpoena to the Inquisition. Imagine getting witch trialed because mittens sneeze near a candle. The irony? Today, black cats are Instagram aesthetic goals, from cursed omens to Tumblr mascots.
Even worse if you were single, female, and your cat liked sitting in your window. Congratulations, you just opened a portal to hell, all while trying to stop a mouse problem. Black cats were so feared that some towns organized actual cat-burning festivals. Others believed killing a black cat could reverse bad luck, which didn't help the cats or their owners. Some people even refused to walk near homes where black cats were seen, believing they radiated curses like little whiskered wizards.
So basically, being a single woman with a window cat was like having your own personal haunted neon sign. Cat in the window? She's clearly FaceTiming the devil. The cat-burning festivals sound like a deleted subplot from Midsummer, equal parts terrifying and absurd.
Marrying the wrong guy. Another reason you could be accused of being a witch? Doing absolutely nothing wrong, except marrying the wrong guy. In some cases, husbands accuse their wives of witchcraft just to get rid of them. Maybe he wanted a new wife. Maybe he wanted her land. Maybe he just didn't want to argue about whose turn it was to milk the goat. Whatever the reason, tossing around a witch accusation was a disturbingly effective way to hit reset on your love life. Courts didn't need much proof. Just a rumor, a weird coincidence, or someone saying, "She gave me a look." And just like that, you're starring in your own public execution. One woman got accused because a man claimed his tooth started hurting after she looked at him weird. And the town went, "Seems legit." So if your husband was cheating and had a vivid imagination, you weren't just unlucky, you were doomed.
Marriage in the 1600s was basically a speed run of Among Us. Your husband could just yell "witch" and boom, ejected. The fact that a toothache counted as courtroom evidence is peak medieval Yelp review energy. She looked at me funny, now my molar hurts, 0-10, would not recommend. Honestly, it was the ultimate divorce hack. Forget lawyers, just accuse your spouse of consorting with Satan. And the saddest part? These trials show how gossip functioned like the OG algorithm, feeding rumors until someone's life got canceled. Yeah, literally, so.
Talking to yourself. Ever mutter something like, "Where did I put my keys?" or "Ugh, I'm such an idiot"? Congrats, you're a medieval witch. Talking to yourself was seen as casting spells, especially if you were old, hunched over, and had any kind of animal nearby. Didn't matter if you were reciting your grocery list. If someone heard you whispering to the air, that was witchcraft. This is also how people got accused for simply praying under their breath. And if you were near someone who fell sick afterward, that mumble turned into a curse. They really thought it was dark magic, as if a real witch would forget where they left their shoes, or need to mutter about it. Honestly, if that counted as spell casting, half the population today would summon demons just looking for their phones.
So basically, medieval logic was AirPods in, hexing the village, whispering about bread prices, dark sorcery. Imagine surviving plague, famine, and wars, only to get torched because you muttered, "Ugh, where's my shoe?" near a goat. The funniest part is they thought real witches would waste magic on cursing neighbors instead of, I don't know, fixing their posture. If mumbling equals spellcasting, then today's gamers raging in headsets would have been entire covens, spawn camping demons in real time.
Owning a mirror. Mirrors were once expensive and mysterious. People believed they could trap souls or act as portals to other realms. So if you had one in your home, especially if you were poor, people assumed you were using it for dark rituals. Even catching your own reflection at the wrong angle could get whispers started. She was staring into that glass for too long, probably summoning something. And heaven forbid you had two mirrors facing each other. Infinite reflections? Clearly a summoning vortex, or just really bad interior design. And if a mirror broke, it wasn't just 7 years of bad luck. People thought it released the spirits trapped inside. Some folks even covered mirrors during storms, afraid they might attract lightning, or worse, demons.
Owning a mirror back then was basically like having an iPhone Pro Max in the dark ages, way too pricey, way too suspicious. The whole infinite reflections equals demon portal thing sounds less like theology and more like an anxiety attack in an IKEA showroom. And breaking one, instant soul jailbreak. What's funny is how mirrors flipped from feared occult tech to everyday bathroom check-ins. Today, if staring too long at your reflection made you a witch, every selfie influencer would be on trial by sunrise.
Being a woman over 40 without kids. In medieval logic, if you're a woman and not a wife or mother, what are you even for? Women over 40 who lived alone, whether by choice, widowhood, were considered highly suspicious. People thought your independence made you bitter, jealous, and vengeful. Combine that with herbal knowledge and a cat and boom, witch. Your neighbors would watch you like a hawk. Did you look too happy? Suspicious. Too sad? Also suspicious. There was no winning, just a slow walk to trial. Some communities even kept a list of odd women, just in case crops failed and they needed a scapegoat. You weren't a respected elder. You were an unexplained variable. And back then, unexplained meant unholy. You could be invisible for years, until someone's cow died, and suddenly everyone remembered your name.
So basically, hitting 40 without kids was like unlocking the suspicious DLC. Independence wasn't admired. It was treated like malware. Add a cat and some chamomile tea knowledge, and congrats, you're the final boss of witchcraft. The whole list of odd women thing is just medieval LinkedIn, except your only endorsement was Mayhex Livestock. What's insane is how they turned loneliness into evidence of Satan.
Surviving something others didn't. Sometimes the thing that saved you from the plague, from famine, from childbirth, got you accused. If your neighbors died and you didn't, clearly you must have made a deal with the devil, or hexed someone, or stole their luck. You couldn't just be lucky or smart, like boiling your water or washing your hands. Survival made you sus. If your house didn't catch fire in a lightning storm, must be a force field. Did your garden grow while others failed? Dark magic, obviously. Didn't matter if you just stayed indoors, ate garlic, or washed your hands like a maniac, surviving made you suspicious. Because clearly being alive meant you cheated the system, or made a shady pact.
Surviving anything back then was too lucky to be normal. Wash your hands, witch, eat garlic, sorcery, house doesn't burn, clearly a demon firewall. Basically, being alive meant you hacked life's system. Imagine dodging the plague only to get nerfed at trial for having decent hygiene.
Floating on the water. If villagers thought you were a witch, there was a method to find out. They'd tie your hands and feet together, toss you in a lake, and watch what happened. If you floated, you were a witch, so the villagers tied you to a stake and burned you alive. If you sank, you were innocent, and also dead. Basically, your best case scenario was not guilty. Also, funerals at 4. These tests weren't done in secret either. The whole town came to watch, like it was some messed up version of medieval Netflix. Bring your pitchforks, grab a turkey leg, and enjoy the show. The idea was that water, being pure, would reject evil, so if you didn't sink immediately, you were consorting with demons. Some villages tied a rope to maybe pull you out, others didn't bother. It was less of a test and more of a lose-lose situation with bonus drowning.
Ah yes, the classic float and fry, sink and die logic. Witch trials were basically medieval game shows with 0 winners, just public drowning as primetime entertainment. The whole town showed up like it was medieval Coachella, but with more pitchforks. Water rejecting evil, more like science rejecting sanity. Honestly, it wasn't justice, it was a lose-lose speed run to the afterlife.
Looking different. A birthmark, a lazy eye, red hair, anything that made you stand out physically could be seen as a mark of the devil. People believed witches were branded by Satan, and any unusual feature counted. Some accused witches were even searched for witches' teats, small bumps or moles supposedly used to feed their demonic familiars. If examiners found anything remotely odd on your skin, they had proof. So basically, if puberty hit you weird or you had freckles, tough luck. Time to pack for the Inquisition. And if you tried to cover it with makeup, extra witchy. Being different in other ways could get you in trouble too. Like being left-handed, it was basically a 100% guarantee that you were a witch. And not just back then, people still thought it was a flaw not that long ago, but I said more about that in this video.
Basically, medieval society turned freckles, red hair, or being left-handed into a satanic dress code violation. A mole, demon snack bar. Makeup, extra witchy. It's like puberty itself was a criminal offense. Honestly, the only real curse here was bad dermatology mixed with zero critical thinking.
Having dreams that came true. Say you had a dream your neighbor's cow would die, and it did. Doesn't matter if the cow was already limping and making weird sounds. The moment it keeled over, guess who's guilty? Dreams were viewed as dangerous windows into forbidden knowledge. Even if your dream was just, I think it's gonna rain, and it did, suspicious. Clearly, Satan was feeding you forecasts. Sometimes just saying, I had a feeling was enough to raise eyebrows. Intuition wasn't admired, it was feared. Because how dare you predict the obvious? If you had a nightmare, you kept it to yourself, or risked being the reason someone's sheep vanished.
So dreaming was basically medieval Google alerts. Cow dies after you dream it. Witch, predict rain by, clouds. Clearly Satan's weather app, even saying I had a feeling was risky. Intuition wasn't admired. It was criminal. Honestly, their logic turned every sleepover into a potential felony of the supernatural kind.
Appearing in someone's dream. Dreams were suspicious on their own, but if someone dreamed about you doing something spooky, you were the one in trouble. If someone claimed they dreamed of you stirring up some evil potion in a kettle or flying around on a broomstick, that was solid enough evidence to get you arrested. Yes, dream logic was actual trial material. The idea was that dreams could be messages or visions, and if those dreams involved you doing dark stuff, then clearly your soul was guilty. But it didn't stop there. In the Middle Ages, you didn't need to do anything wrong at all. Sometimes even a child could get you killed. You didn't let your neighbor's kid bring home a giant stick he found in the woods? That little gremlin could go, she flew out her chimney last night, and boom, public execution.
So, showing up in someone's dream was basically the medieval version of getting tagged in a bad photo, except instead of embarrassment, it was execution. Dream evidence meant your reputation lived and died inside someone else's REM cycle. A cranky kid with an overactive imagination could literally fan fiction you into death row. The wild part, they truly believed the subconscious was a live feed from the devil's Twitch channel. Forget laws, forget logic, your neighbor's nap could decide your fate. Terrifying, hilarious, and honestly, peak chaos. Peanut did an amazing job with this video. The link's in the description. Next time, let's just say we'll be exploring something even stranger, maybe darker, maybe not. Stay nerdy.